What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. And yesterday, it was a good day. I ended up getting to the window maybe around 3 o'clock. I took the Valkyrie game over 162, and I got to the window with that one. So that was a nice winner. Only thing I had for yesterday. Vino, great to be back with you. How's everything on your end?
Yeah, it was a decent day yesterday for myself too, Skee. The $5 Tuesday play, which was the top play of the day, was Valkyrie team total over 84.5, which did get there. So I think we clicked on two ends of the same game. The loser yesterday, the loss was the Atlanta Dream over 87.5 against Chicago. And I don't know, 5 of 26 3-point shooting, just not going to cut it. Ryan Howard, I was begging her to make a couple Skee, 1 of 10 from three yesterday. So they really didn't take advantage of the Sky defense, but we'll take the $5 Tuesday win, which was the more popular play. Oh,
My
yeah,
bad.
you muted.
My bad on that. Shout out to the people in the chat. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Chico Sticks, David Silva, Trevor Tillis. Appreciate all you guys. A lot of guys who are always here in the chat. Brian, Joe. See a lot of the same guys. Prolific. That's my guy there too. All right. Let's get to today. We have 3 games. We'll start in the W today, if that's okay with you, Vino.
Yeah, let's do it.
First game I'm looking at is Sun and Tempo. The opener for this game was -7.5. Looks like pretty much 8 everywhere. Total opened 170, and we've seen it go down. We're looking at 167.5 pretty much everywhere. Going to refresh this injury report. We do have Brittany Griner game time. Trying to see if it's probable or what, but yeah, it's just questionable. Anissa Morrow out, Haley Van Lith out for the Tempo. Timmy and Kiki are both out. Um, this is I did bet one game today in the W already, and this was not the one that I bet. But Connecticut, I keep saying, I felt like they were a little undervalued just because how bad they played, during that stretch without Layla to begin the season, and now she's back. Especially if you get Griner in there, I feel like the Sun could stick around once again. Um, Maybe even look at Sun. I mean, I would bucket and go Sun team total over. The Tempo aren't the greatest defensive team. They like to play fast. I don't agree with the total really coming down. I think this is more of an over game, and I would look towards the underdog. What do you think, Vino?
Yeah, it's a little bit head scratching why the total came down, Skee. I don't know if that's in response to Morrow again being out and Griner being questionable. We'll see if Brittany Griner plays. If she doesn't, that pair didn't play the other night, and the Liberty, their opponent the other night, didn't even have Jean-Paul Jones, and they crushed Connecticut on the boards, 42-28 plus 14 Liberty. The Connecticut just can't stand up on the interior. Toronto's the same way, right? Toronto's just not a good interior team. They're second worst allowing points in the paint. And Connecticut did score their share of points in the paint against New York the other night without Jones in there. They scored. And once again, Skee, we talked about it the other day. I rattled off 4 straight games of miserable 3-point shooting by the Sun, yet they were able to cover 2 of those 4. They did it again the other night. They shot terrible from three. They're the worst 3-point shooting team in the league, but yet they covered 89-80, just getting too many points, kind of validating your point about them being undervalued at the current time. I wish they had Anissa Morrow. She had been playing so good, double-double machine. I'd like to see Connecticut fully healthy, see what they can do. It seems like one injury, one entry back into the lineup, one goes missing. But with two teams that don't really protect the rim, and of course, the guess here is that Griner doesn't play. If she does, there's a little more rim protection there. But if she doesn't play, you wonder how this game does stay under 167.5. Like I said, the other night they got to 169. The Connecticut Sun put up 80 on New York, who is a better defensive team than what Toronto is. I didn't go back and check the most current numbers, but I know that on a show recently you talked about how Toronto had allowed 90 plus in quite a few games this year. They'd rather score than defend. So I don't know. I'm with you in the fact that I don't agree with the total coming down, and I also see a little bit of spark out of the sun at this point in time. So, they're covering numbers. They're not winning games, but they're covering numbers, and the public seems to be, or the money seems to be coming in on Toronto's side today. So I didn't bet this game either, but I think I would look to the underdog and over.
Daryl Brown says Connecticut also have the fourth ranked second chance points and tempo are fourth worst on the boards. I agree with the over. Don't see a lot of defense and tempo can pull it over for sure. I appreciate that. Nice to see that you like it as well. Let's go to the next game, Vino. This is the one that I did actually bet for today. Sparks and Storm. And this one opened up -5.5, I believe, for the Sparks. Now we're looking at, just make sure here. Yeah, now we're looking at 7.5 pretty much everywhere. Total open 168.5. And we'll call the consensus 169.5, but a couple shops have a 170 out there still. Um, this is one I have a very strong opinion on. I'm curious, do you?
And I'm in the land of confusion on this game, Ski, and I'll tell
Okay.
you why. Let me go ahead. I'll go first here because a few days ago, Kelsey Plum was doing a post game interview, and she kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say condescendingly, but answered the reporter's question by saying, right now we have the worst defensive rating in WNBA history. What do you think? And a lot of talk last game where they actually held Portland to 72 was about playing defense for each other. So my dilemma is, do I think that that was a one game mirage that LA came out in the second half, decided, hey, we're going to stick to the game plan. We're going to play defense. We're going to help. We're going to, even NECA commented on how good it was last game. If that's the case, Seattle is not the best offensive team in the league. And if LA can start to play a little bit of defense, man, they can score. Obviously, my initial reaction before I got to the defensive part of this is playing an under in an LA Sparks game is one of those where you just have to close your eyes and hope that it stays under because they can score so easily and they generally don't defend. But this newfound, I'll call it determination to improve defensively, and especially against this team, which is based right now on two interior players since they got Malonga back, Malonga and Pham. Seattle's not the best shooting team. They're also not the best when they try to go quick, so they don't always score. They're not the most efficient. I kind of am starting to lean toward under and disagreeing with this total movement upward. Hard to trust LA. I'll take a page out of your book. Hard to trust a team that can't make stops to lay 7.5, but maybe Los Angeles is in a period here where they're going to play good defense over the next, couple of games. So, like I said, I'm in a dilemma here because the natural thing is to bet a Sparks game over. But what I'm hearing and what I'm reading indicates they're trying to play a little defense now. So that backs me off.
Yeah, that's kind of what I talked about on Wager Talk today and what I wrote about. I mean, I have it up on my page at Wager Talk too as a free play. Also, it's a real everything I put as a free play. I actually bet everything. I don't give out plays. I don't bet. I just don't. So I agree with everything. I heard all the interviews, etc. I watched the game and just looked like a different Sparks team in that second half. And we've heard these different comments, like you said, that Kelsey Plum comment the other day, right? We've heard NECA be disgusted with the defense and say what they have to do defensively. And now you see them come out second half in a game where they're not shooting well and win a game by 20 pretty much on defense. That's not, to me, I don't think that's a one off. I think that, they went in there at halftime and they talked about whatever they need to talk about and they did it. So I think they'll continue it in this next game, and it's a perfect opponent to do it against. I mean, yes, they got Malonga back, but still not the best offense. Like you said, I just think that Sparks. can hold them down. And Storm, they're a second worst offensive team, I believe, this season, but they're a top five defense. They can play some defense. So I just think this is a lower scoring game. I got it at 170.5 because that's how high it got up to before it started to come back down. But I still think 169.5 is okay. I mean, line shot though, you can get 170, but that's what I bet for this game. You want to get in on this, No pressure. Don't let me bully you either.
No, like I say, it's a legitimate angle, and it's I'll just go back to Lynn Roberts. Let's go to the head coach who we didn't even mention. Lynn Roberts says you get rewarded from winning. And if you play defense the way they played the second half and it comes up with a W, you tend to think, hey, let's do that again. That was great. She said, we're going to have a game plan that's well thought out, and it's on us to choose to do it for 40 minutes. So again, defense is always a choice because it's the effort part of the floor. It seems to me like, the leaders of the team, Plum and NECA, are committed to it, or at least talking about being committed to it. So I can see this game, especially with this opponent, like I said earlier, maybe staying under the number.
All right, we agree on this one. Let's move over to what is it? Game 4 of the NBA Finals: Spurs and Knicks. And let me just double check here. Did I get the right? Has it moved a little bit since? Yes. I mean, -2 still out there. Seeing 216.5, maybe 217 popping up. I will call it 216.5 right now. That last game, saw the Spurs do what they always do. Come out, throw the first punch. Really good adjustment by them. I mean, um, Knicks have been playing some solid defense in general throughout their win streak, but they took away the Spurs transition for one, and then we're just packing the paint in general to start the season, the series, and then like I don't know, the Spurs just didn't know how to attack it, or they tried different things and it just didn't work. And then this time when they had the double screen, it was just like lobbed to Victor by the rim all night, and he was able to finally, be dominant inside because of it, because he had some space. So I'm just curious, do the Knicks have a defensive adjustment in them? And you know, just any thoughts on that to start off in this?
Yeah, well, the adjustment, if you get into X's and O's, is just trying to fight your way underneath that screen to try and block him and his path to the rim. Because if you're going to give him free runs to the rim off of screens, we see that, the idea is I made the comment. This is tongue in cheek, of course, but I made the comment watching the game the other night. One of my son's buddies was sitting next to me, and I said, "You know what? I think I could get 10 assists in this league if all I had to do was throw it up to Vince. I really think I could get 10 assists. You can do that." The Knicks, obviously, Mike Brown had a long-winded diatribe about the foul calling, the refereeing the other day. We'll see if the whistles change here in favor
Yeah,
of New York.
legitimate case,
A
I
couple
think.
of, huh?
Yeah, legitimate case, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Stephen Castle play, I still don't understand why that's just common foul. That just looked like running through the two hole, fullback
Yeah.
dive or something, plow the guy over. But we'll see if the whistles change here tonight. Different referee crew, maybe they're under a little pressure. I know that San Antonio has made the comment, a couple of players, that the Knicks play very physical. I think Justin Champagnie was one of them. And he said he doesn't see that changing. He thinks it's going to get even more physical. And I would agree. I feel like this game is just the Knicks saw what happened to them, got a little bit out physical. They didn't get whistles from the other side being physical, and they're going to come back and do maybe a little more. Again, this could get into a foul fest if that's the case, and you run into the problem of free throws. But it just seems like this game could hit a spot where it grinds down at some point and becomes an under. I know the money's moving toward over here. We saw the first two games go under. Still, nobody has shot the ball especially well in this series as far as team field goal percentages are concerned. Knicks 43% for the series, San Antonio 43%. Nobody lighting it up from three as of now. They're like average numbers. Um, so, like I say, this could become one of those games. The Knicks know how important it is. I don't think they want to blow 2 games at home to San Antonio, go back 2-2. One more thought, Ski, that comes to my mind is that San Antonio played through all the physicality of OKC. It's a different type of physicality because they really pressure ball, and New York doesn't pressure ball as much, not the way OKC does. But still, San Antonio, after a while, figured out how to fight through the OKC defense, and maybe last game was their breakthrough moment on how to score against this team. So to me, right now, without having bet it yet, I think it's probably an under. And sidewise, I don't know. I mean, I could see it going either way. I'm not convinced still that the Knicks were the better team coming into this series. Maybe they are, but I don't want to put it past them to get a win at home here. But they've been such a good home team all year long. It's hard to bet against
They have been very good. I don't know. I think this one is going to be a fight. I think it could be a lower scoring game. I would side with the road team in this one. Um, all right, Vino. We've been on here, but 16 and a half minutes. We can wrap it up. Moving on over to best bets. Actually, let's do the promos before we get to that. And we do have the usual buy three, get three free, 6 days for just $69. Good way to check out either Rob Vino or myself. And one more for myself. Only day you'll probably see it is today. But all these numbers, check out. Um, it's been a good season. Number one so far in the season, and number one in the playoffs. So try to keep that going here tonight. I do have a 5%, and yeah, Vino, I'm gonna pass it to you. If you have anything else you would like to promote, feel free. And if you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, it's all good. I do.
Well, I just saw those numbers, and I'm gonna dig through my pocket here and get my credit card and go ahead and purchase that man stuff. Good numbers there, Ski. Absolutely. Through the NBA, credit to you. I'm gonna do what we always do. I haven't made a bet. I haven't made a play. The clients don't have a play yet. So it's impossible for me to go ahead and list something as a best bet here on the show if the clients don't have a play yet. I could come up with something. I think you guys heard a lot of the ways that I'm leaning here tonight. Maybe I get to a point where I make a play, but as of now, I don't have a bet. My clients don't have a play, so I won't leave a best bet today.
That is all good. For me, like I said, if you want NBA for today, I mean, if you can test some listening skills, or you know, my 5% play is up and available at wagertalk.com. My best bet for the show, I'll go to the W. Talked about it. Going back to that Sparks and Storm game. Best number I see right now, seeing a few 170s. So for the purpose of the show, 170 is good enough for a best bet. I do have 170 and a half in my pocket, just letting you guys know. And that's how we'll rock for today. So, Vino, always appreciate you taking the time to come cap these games with me. Chat, we appreciate you guys as well. Best of luck, everybody, on all your actions tonight. We will be back again tomorrow, and we'll catch you all then.